Get ready for the dictation. Start. All the writ petitioners contend that they hold degrees and diplomas which are either equivalent to an O-level certificate or are liable to be viewed as a higher or superior qualification to that of an O-level certificate. It was also their contention that in the previous recruitment exercises which had been undertaken, candidates holding qualifications identical to that of the petitioners had been permitted to participate in the selection process and had also been appointed subsequently. In view of the aforesaid, it was contended that the exclusion of the petitioners was clearly arbitrary and illegal. When the leading writ petition came up for consideration before a learned judge on 17 January 2020, rival submissions were noted and upon consideration thereof and as an interim measure, it was provided that in case the petitioners here ultimately succeed, the Commission would hold a special typing test for them and appointments, if any, made would be subject to the result of the writ petition. On 29 July 2020, the court took note of a supplementary affidavit filed in connected petition being writ A number 945 of 2020 and the reliance placed on behalf of the petitioners on a government order of 9 June 2020. The state respondents as well as the Commission were directed to file their counter affidavits. Pursuant to those directions, affidavits have since been exchanged between parties. The Commission, along with its counter affidavit of 17 February 2020, placed on the record a decision taken by a 3-member expert committee dealing with the question of equivalence of degrees and diplomas submitted by candidates to the O-level certificate as issued by NILET. Taking note of the course content of the O-level certificate, the committee held that certificates of higher levels would not be considered. It further decided that certificates issued by institutes, centers, and schools accredited by NILET for running courses other than the O-level would also not be considered. The committee further resolved that higher degrees / diplomas, certificates in IT / computer science submitted in lieu of the O-level certificate would also not be considered. It also excluded from consideration any certificate issued by a private school, training center, institution, or a body. It lastly decided that a postgraduate diploma in computer application as well as a diploma in computer application awarded by universities or other organizations would also not be considered as equivalent to the O-level certificate. Upon that disclosure being made, the petitioners amended the writ petitions laying challenge to the decision of the expert committee. Those amendments, as proposed, were allowed by the court on 17 November 2020. On 16 July 2021, the court was apprised by the learned additional advocate general that during the pendency of the writ petitions, various appointments had come to be made and such appointees had not been impleaded as party to these proceedings. The court, in view of the aforesaid, directed the state respondents to serve notices upon all selected candidates, informing them of the pendency of these petitions. Pursuant to the aforesaid direction, the state took requisite steps and various impediment applications on behalf of the appointed candidates came to be filed. The batch came to be placed before this court on 11 August 2021 pursuant to an order of nomination made by the Honorable Chief Justice. When this batch was taken up on 31 August 2021, Sri Sasi Nandan, Learned Senior Counsel appearing in the lead writ petition, drew the attention of the court to what was described to be a government order of 22 April 2021. A copy of that document was provided to the Learned Additional Advocate General to enable him to verify the same and obtain necessary instructions. The petitioners, by way of a supplementary affidavit of 1 September 2021, placed on the record the document which had been referred to the court during the course of proceedings taken on 31 August 2021. The document which stands appended with that supplementary affidavit is consideredly not a government order but merely a communication by the Special Secretary to the Commission. Along with the aforesaid affidavit, the petitioners also brought on record the communication dated 9 June 2020 addressed by the Joint Secretary in the Government of UP to the Deputy Director General of Police Personnel. Stop.